At least we have Porter Erisman, who's here. Porter is a former VP at the Alibaba Group, and he's the director of a new documentary featuring Jack Ma and Alibaba's early start, Crocodile in the Yangtze. So I'd love to know how you came up with this title, Crocodile in the Yangtze. I think it's a great title.
Yeah, so what I've basically made, it's a personal memoir told from my perspective, independent of the company, made with some archival footage from the company, but also archival footage from 35 different sources. It's really a memoir of my experience working with Jack Ma.
I've previewed the documentary, by the way, and would highly recommend it. So,
well, thank you. Thank you. I don't need to plug my own movie if you're doing it for me.
No, it's okay. I know it's being screened right now in a couple of places, right?
Exactly. So how it all started was right before I left Alibaba. I really wanted to capture my experience and put it in a book, really like a traditional business memoir. And so I went out and sought out publishers in New York. I had a great agent, but it turned out that another book about Alibaba had just gotten signed with a publisher at the time. I think you remember this story too.
Yeah, I do, because we were both talking about doing a book on Alibaba and Jack Ma. We both thought, oh my gosh, if he's going to do a book and I'm going to do a book, we can't have both books out there at the same time.
Exactly. And so before I left the company, I sat down with Jack Ma and I said, and he's an open-minded guy. I said, listen, I want to tell this story from the perspective of an American working inside the Chinese company, of really what I saw over these years, warts and all. I mean, I had a positive experience or else I wouldn't have stayed at the company anyways, but I wanted to tell the mistakes that were made.
How long were you there, by the way?
8 years, so from 2000. They just moved out of the apartment, and then I left in 2008 and took 1 year off in the middle to do a round-the-world tour, but that's a different story.
That's a different story altogether.
But essentially what it was, I wanted to tell this story of what I saw as it grew from an apartment, and then really the main sort of plot point that comes halfway through the film is Alibaba's battle with eBay. And so I dissect the strategy of really what happened in that battle. How did Alibaba, at least from my perspective, how did they win that battle? And I talk about, a little bit about the products and everything, but a little bit more about the sort of PR strategy that we used to put pressure on eBay to ultimately get them to withdraw from China. And so
a PR strategy against eBay?
Well, I don't want to get too much into it, but basically, what we really felt at the time was, let's make Taobao free for 3 years, and that scares investors. So if you're a VC and you hear that, you're an investor, that frightens you because it reminds you of the early days and the bubble times of the internet. But our theory was, if we tell the market it's going to be free for 3 years and then focus on building a better website that better fit the China market, that ultimately eBay would crumble from the pressure from Wall Street that really expected them to come up with a quick way to cash in on the like $150 million they'd invested. And so I talk about that a little bit in the film. The film is more for entrepreneurs, because I try to capture the emotion of what it's like to go through that, through the ups and downs. I show the sort of early adventures we had when Jack Ma went to Europe and the Western media were looking at him saying, basically, you're crazy. Who are you to tell me you're going to build a global business from China? And so I think some of the speakers left. I wanted to take issue with some of the things they were saying, actually, because if you want to look at a truly unique global internet model that came from China, really it was 10 years ago when Alibaba really emerged to be the leading B2B company, outlasting Ariba, Commerce One, Global Sources, all these Western internet companies that have received so much hype. So that's a long answer to get to the point that Crocodile in the Yangtze, the reference is Jack Ma had said, eBay is a shark in the ocean, we're a crocodile in the Yangtze River. If we fight in the ocean, we will lose. But if we fight in the Yangtze River, we'll win. And that was his way of contrasting the Chinese business model versus the US business model.
That's very interesting. So where can we see this film?
Let me see if I can remember. No, it's it's been really fun. It's it's difficult. I thought starting an internet, or I didn't start it, but being a part of an internet company that's growing is a really creative process. But then to actually switch your brain from one side to the other and go from being a business person to filmmaker was really, really tough. But it's been a really fun adventure since then. So it started in Sonoma, and I kind of sheepishly just put it out at the Sonoma International Film Festival. I actually have kind of a thin skin for a guy who's making a film, like including himself in it. But it started there and sort of grew. So it's gone to 8 film festivals in the U.S. Its international premiere, so the first time it shows outside of U.S. will be in Vancouver at the Vancouver International Film Festival. Well, it's already started, but I'll be there on October 11th. And then it's starting to go to universities. And really, to be honest, that's my real goal, is to share it with students of entrepreneurship. So it's going to go to University of Washington for the Seattle premiere soon, Babson University in Boston, meeting with Stanford, and it'll be showing at USC, Berkeley. So my goal is, now that I've left, trying to find purpose in life, once you've been a part of this startup that's gone through so much, is just sharing the story with other entrepreneurs.
Okay, well, good. I highly recommend it. One question, yes? Oh.
You know what? You're going to have to see the film in order to do that.
You will, actually.
No, I went in '94 to learn Mandarin, and I got totally hooked. So I came back after business school and got involved in the internet boom back in about '99.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Porter. I really appreciate the
Thanks for doing that advertisement for my film.
So on that note, we're going to...
What is an innovation?
I feel very confident.
Found out that anyone that had a really interesting idea.
Usable for everybody.
So finding the fit is very important.
Doing things the right way.
Here, new partnerships, new licensing, new investments take place.
Innovation Dialogue, East meets West in Silicon Valley.